Welcome to The Prize Inside. The Prize Inside. A chiropractor's journey in everyday holistic health and vitality. Here, your host, Dr. Jeremy Myers, delves into the remarkable journeys of everyday people who have embraced the path to health and healing. Through his practice, Dr. Jeremy encounters inspiring stories of profound transformation and the power of true healing within each of us. Stay tuned as we discuss various holistic topics and unlock the healing potential that lies within us all.
What's up?
Welcome to The Prize Inside. The Prize Inside. A chiropractor's journey in everyday holistic health and vitality. Here, your host, Dr. Jeremy Myers, delves into the remarkable journeys of everyday people who have embraced the path to health and healing. Through his practice, Dr. Jeremy encounters inspiring stories of profound transformation and the power of true healing within each of us. Stay tuned as we discuss various holistic topics and unlock the healing potential that lies within us all.
Okay. There. Jeez. I don't know what was happening there, my friend. I'm sorry about that. That was crazy.
What's up twice?
Yeah, that was very strange. So, yeah, it was like, I think I did something with, it has this software that I can put in the, like a PowerPoint without like screen sharing, you know? So it did something weird, but so how's it going?
Wonderful.
Going good.
Made a big delivery, scary delivery in my truck today.
I saw that. So,
delivered those 52-year-olds.
Right. For those that don't know, the it's for those that don't know, Ryan as a kind of a side hustle creating whiskey barrels. So if you look online with Whiskey Rhino on Facebook especially, you'll see all his awesome work. He had a huge order. Order.
50 pieces. Listen to this part, Jeremy. So it's going into that speakeasy on the wall, right?
Yeah.
50 of these are going to go on the wall. Now he's talking about putting hinges on the lids and making them called whiskey lockers, so that you go to the speakeasy, you buy your bottle of whiskey, you can put it in your whiskey locker that opens up, and then you can lock it.
Oh my God, that's such a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah, he was telling me what he's going to end up doing with them. So I was like, okay, but this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to do this and this to reinforce it all. You know,
that's crazy, man.
His one idea turned into something way bigger than what he thought.
Absolutely, especially when you have the dream like that. You know, like this is kind of that's fantastic. That's like crazy stuff, man. So let's start tonight. And then, how'd your trip go? It didn't hit out. So he ended up having this trailer that was full. Like,
oh yeah, the trip went out. I made it down to Roanoke, about 45-minute drive, and unloaded them, loaded them into his trailer, and made it back.
Right. I saw the picture. I was like, whoa, that's
almost
ground, baby.
Like lay them all out in his pole barn, but we just ended up putting them from one trailer to the next. So I'm not going to be able to get a big picture of them all together.
Right.
Put them up on the wall.
That's so cool. But yeah, so tonight's thing is about, oh shoot, I should start up. I got one other thing. Man, that threw me off.
Sorry.
All right. I always do the audio recording so we can do it as like a podcast as well. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, tonight is about one of my favorite quotes. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Ryan, do you know who that was from? Chat, if you're watching this,
who's your coach?
Look up.
Who's
I'm
your
not
coach?
going to tell anybody till the end of who said that quote.
It's gonna be
an
Indiana. Who's your
I
coach?
didn't know it till it's a good one. It was a good one. So anyway, so let's go into the 2 little key points, and then we'll go into some talking about this subject. Tonight's about the mind. It's about getting the mind right, and it's going to be fan-freaking-tastic. So, and I got the guy that I know, he knows what he's talking about on the mind strength of taking shots, just like whiskey barrels. So I just read a great article. It was by Dr. Mercola. And what it was like how to help fix metabolism. And this was really good because a lot of people have problems with what they essentially call a broken metabolism, where one of the reasons people have trouble like seeing body changes in weight loss, in weightlifting, and a lot of these different things is a lot of times our metabolism gets screwed up because of the processes that regular life put us in. So it's a pretty good list of stuff that we've talked about, but just remember getting really good, great protein sources is a big one in that, in the keto space, because a lot of times we're starting to do just protein in powder form and those kind of things.
Which is okay. I like that one because I'm on a big nut kick lately. Pistachios being number 1. What was it? Walnuts being number 2.
Yep.
Then we get our cashews, and then I didn't know this. Did you know that you're only supposed to eat 3 Brazil nuts a day? If you eat too many Brazil nuts,
yes,
selenium poisoning.
You can, absolutely.
So
now they kind of push that a little bit, but
yeah, I don't.
3 Brazil nuts, those are pretty good sized things, anyway.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for my alternative protein source.
Exactly. So those are really good. So like nuts, meat, those kind of things. Just making sure it's not just protein powders, right? Because that's what happens. Julie's on our Rumble channel. Just to let you all know, I'm like loving it. I was showing Rachel's going to do a Tuesday or a Thursday now that she knows how this goes. So I got to show her how to do it. Pretty cool. She's way better at the social media stuff than I am. But so let's keep going down my list. Sorry. So here's another one. So on the top 2, so you have great protein sources to help that fixing that metabolism, staying away from omega-6s, which is your seed oils, right? Your cooking oils, the crap like that. Those things are actually damaging you. They literally are causing damage. So we have to be careful that way, as we go in all those aspects of things. So just remember that, like you can literally cause yourself damage in that scenario. Okay. All right. So then this one called xenoestrogens, which is estrogen chemicals that increase your estrogen, but they're all in our plastics. So we want to make sure we, stay away from a lot of that stuff. Looking that up, that's a pretty big deal right now. PFAS, a lot of those different words you'll hear in the internet. EMFs, remember electromagnetic frequency radiation from phones, cell phones, those kind of things can mess up your metabolism. Restoring health, gut health, which is a big, huge player for me, obviously. A good one to take away some of that stuff, infrared sauna. That's a pretty good one, right? So we got a good little infrared sauna. And another positive one that could help with that metabolism, which we'll probably do a whole video on, is called grounding, which is basically getting to the earth. A lot of different products out there right now in grounding mats and those kind of things. But true grounding is just barefoot in the grass, right? And that connection to the earth can have some really good stances on, as we go. All right.
Hey, Jeremy, question.
Yeah.
Regarding the sauna, now I do a regular hot rock sauna. Is there a difference?
I think, good question. Infrared has a healing frequency to the light. Okay. So that's one of the only things that it probably has above a hot sauna. A hot sauna, a stone one, is just detoxing through, sweating and those kind of things. Yeah. So they're 2 different things. However, both are fantastic. So I would say don't let it worry you too much if you're not doing that one to the other one. However, the infrared, they found a ton of healing capacity in these infrared lights, those kind of things. Yeah. So, but I want to get one. I want to get one with the hot rocks and like,
I think a combination of both
fired. Yeah, I want that whole thing, like especially cold days. It'd be fantastic. Yeah. So then this other article we found is ultra processed foods are actually hurting your muscle gain. So they're saying that the ultra processed crap that we eat. So let's say we eat protein all day, but then you eat a bunch of garbage, right? You eat a bunch of packaged stuff that has a bunch of chemicals in it. That ends up causing you worse muscle problems. And so you want to make sure that you're eating that way clean as much as you possibly can, because those ultra processed foods can be a really big problem. And we all know those as the ones that can stay on a shelf for several years. You wouldn't notice anything that would change on that.
I want to say something about the protein too. I just got noticed this. Kelly found this out. So we've been doing the Pediasure for the kids for a long time. It's a Pediasure protein drink, right?
Yeah.
And the government just come out and said that red number 59 or whatever that causes cancer.
Yeah.
Well, that's in that Pediasure protein drink.
Right.
And they're not taking it out. So it's like you're trying to make your kid healthy with this stuff, but they knowingly still have the red 59 in it.
Right. And that is the process.
So like we're trying to find different alternative processes for protein sources for the kids.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. And you can't rely on it because it's not it's so you have to go do something else now. So
yep. And that's the hardest part of the whole thing is like as you go, you're gonna notice, sunflower seeds. Sorry, Julie, I just noticed your comment. Sunflower seeds are fantastic. Biggest thing is how they, if you have too much salt, obviously, those kind of things on there. You just got to be careful of what kind of salt they like actually put on those sunflower seeds too. So just be careful, with those. But sunflower seeds are fantastic. It's when they do the actual seed oils from there, because that's not like a natural process they get that cooking oil from. That's one reason why the 6 is turned to a problem. Right, the omega-6 fatty acid stuff. So when you talk seed oils, don't panic on different seeds, right? Some of those seeds are fantastic. But yeah, so you're right. So the red, that's a big one. I think they've actually made the move, and now that's not going to be in a lot of the foods that we have currently. We have a new administration that is going to have a very big focus on these stuff. There's hundreds of chemicals that are illegal in all other countries except for ours.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating. Like as you go, it's one of those things where we'll see how far, my hope is that we actually see a change, going towards, because one of the focuses needs to be on the chronic, we have
obesity.
Like 30% of our kids have chronic diseases. And that's massive, and that's and you're talking the kids. So that's what they're starting life with, in that kind of process. So one of the things we have to make a change, and those changes are going to be difficult because, it's a lot of food, industries out there. Once you get that food, like the process is going to be tough because you have a lot of corporations that do a lot of these things.
Everything's streamlined right now. So
it's all, they're going to have to change a lot of stuff. So my hope is that they do it because they know we all know, and you want to sell product, right? So, because as soon as you find out that, you're not going to do it anymore, right? You're going to find some other alternative. It's pretty easy once I personally thought red dye was gone a long time ago, especially after some videos that I've seen on it that literally can mess with you. Like there's a video, they've banned it off of YouTube forever, but it was a video of a child that they put in a room and gave him red dye, and he was bouncing off the walls like something had like got in him. Like they gave him a book to read and just kind of left him there, tore him up. Like absolutely could not do anything. Like I think he got stuck in the chair because he was so crazy. So they take the same child, take that away, and he was reading the book. And it was just that simple of a test. Now, was it scientific? Who knows, right? But at the same time, the idea is there that, that was 20 years ago. We've known about that. And so part of me doesn't want to get too angry because I see the awesomeness of what's happening, like where we could actually have a change in that society, which would be mind blowing. But us holistic guys have been talking about it for a long time. So, and we understand how big the structure of the whole thing is. So it takes people understanding and being on this kind of thing, to get it
not consuming it,
Yeah, exactly.
The demand will be, the less they'll provide it,
Yep. The dollars tell everything. So like the more people are awake to understanding how this goes, the more you go, more of your stuff is coming from a farmer's market. And like, you're going to get beef instead of going to the grocery store. They're going to start changing some of that stuff, and that is the key. That has always been the key. You can fight and throw things at the wall and all those kind of things. But until people stop buying it, then it's going to be a problem. Right. So, but yeah, so that's all I got. This one was cool. It's one last article before I get going. So this one was cool because it kind of proved what we talk about all the time. The memory of your body is not only in your brain, which we all kind of know, right? So that every cell of your human body has memory to it. So it remembers those things. It remembers the things around the processes that go around. It's fascinating, like how that works, so as you go, just remember that part, remember the processes, like that your body has memory to it. And that can be a huge key for some of the things we talk about later.
I can tell you one right now, Jeremy, my weightlifting journey as like about 3 years ago when I had my carpal tunnel. So I was like at the peak of my strength or whatever. I was deadlifting close to 700 pounds and then doing almost like 465 on bench. And then I had my carpal tunnel, and then, I couldn't lift for a couple months, and then everything went down.
Right.
But my body still had that memory of that stuff. And last week I did pull the 7 plates, getting close to pushing that bench again, but not, close, but it still has that memory and it still feels great,
Right.
That's pretty funny how you said that though, because guys off the street that I've been working out with forever too, be like, they'll come in and be like, they'll do something real light, and then I'm like, bro, you can do what you used to do, just don't do as many. And I'll go up there and be like, boom, boom, 3 or 4 real quick, and it's like, right. And then next set they can't do any, but it's still like, yeah, I feel great,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good point, actually. Like in weightlifting, it's a big thing where everybody goes in and starts going, well, I used to push 225 pounds. So then you get nervous about touching that. So you go down to like the bar, right? And do 100 just to get warmed up. It's true that that's not a bad idea to get your form back, and get that memory of the form, but then try what you used to do. Right.
Because truly,
you don't really lose a lot. It's just you lose a lot of ability to push it.
I think that's the key too. Like and when you don't push it, you're actually kind of wasting. I mean, I don't like to say that. I shouldn't say that. You're not wasting your time, but you're not getting the best out of your time.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. You wanted to. Yes. Time is money, and time makes a lot of it matters in exercise bigger than anywhere else. Because you want to get as much as you can, as much impact as you can in a shorter time frame, so it always fits into who you are, right? And that's what matters, right? So, all right, my friend, let's do this. I'm going to present. Hopefully, nothing explodes, because that was like, I can't believe it didn't work. All right, hopefully, I got it. I'm kind of looking over here. I look and then so view slideshow. All right. So we're going to go through this real quick. It's a little, it's got some cool stuff in it. Hopefully Ryan, chime in if you hear anything. I can't see your face. That's why I like the other way. But as we go, if you want to chime in, just let you know. So 1% tribe, you miss 100% shots of those that you don't take. So what are we going to go over tonight? We're going to discuss the quote, and no one's come up with in the comments, like who came up, who is this quote dedicated to? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take in a health and wellness perspective, though. Some inspirational stories of this concept, and then understanding the key to the whole thing tonight. It gives me chills every time. The understanding that you are the shot worth taking. Oh, feel like I'm okay. So now we're going to go through a couple pretty easy ones. I'll just read them. Little stories that we should go through and kind of rehash of these awesome stories, and then kind of put ourselves in these situations. So Lance Armstrong, okay, his comeback. So here's the story. After surviving testicular cancer that had spread to his lungs and brain, Lance Armstrong made a remarkable return to professional cycling. Initially, doctors gave him less than a 50% chance of survival, let alone returning to sports. However, Armstrong did not just return. He went on to win the Tour de France 7 consecutive times from 1999 to 2005. His decision to take the shot after such a debilitating illness inspired many, showing that the courage to try can lead to extraordinary outcomes. That was a pretty awesome one. How about this one? Bethany Hamilton. She was a surfer. At age 13, Bethany lost her left arm to a shark attack while surfing. Instead of letting this devastating event end her career, she took the shot to return to surfing. Just 1 month after the attack, she was back on the board, and within a year, she returned to competitive surfing, eventually placing as high as second in the national surfing competitions. It's a huge story, right? This one's kind of cool. Eric Weihenmeyer's Mount Everest ascent. Eric became the first blind person to reach the summit of Mount Everest in 2001, losing his sight at age 13 to a rare eye disease. Eric did not let his blindness prevent him from climbing some of the world's highest peaks. His shot was not just in climbing Everest, but in continuously challenging himself to redefine what is possible with the disabilities. B.J. Miller, after amputation, he was a palliative care physician. Think of people that have disabilities. He was that type of physician. He suffered a catastrophic accident in college that led him to amputations of both legs and part of one arm. Instead of letting this define his life negatively, Miller took the shot by focusing on improving the end-of-life experience for others. He transformed his personal tragedy into a career dedicated to palliative care. Emphasizing quality of life, his story is a powerful testament to health, not just as the absence of disease, but as the presence of well-being, even with severe physical limitations. Lucy Davis, after heart failure. She was diagnosed with heart failure at just 21 years old. Lucy was told she might need a transplant. However, she took the shot by committing to an intensive recovery program involving, diet, exercise, medication management. Against all odds, she improved to avoiding even a need for a transplant. And now she does it heart health. She hits young adults with those kind of things, but pushes hard in what they call aggressive lifestyle changes. And then this one's cool. Okay, so this is my last one of these, but Usain Bolt. Everybody remember Usain Bolt, the name?
Fast
Here's
dude.
the story. You remember this guy? Fast dude? Yeah. So hopefully I can do this. The world-renowned sprinter Usain Bolt was actually born with a scoliosis, which resulted in one leg being slightly shorter than the other. Rather than letting this deter him, Bolt adapted his running style and training regimen, working closely with coaches to overcome his physical challenges. After his multiple Olympic World Championship medals are a testament to how he turned back in the scoliosis. So if this works, I got a little like YouTube video of watching how fast this dude is. This is a dude that was diagnosed with a scoliosis, everyone. Just remember that. He's that big he's that big tall guy that just smokes.
I had scoliosis when I was a kid.
That's right.
Fix that right up.
Yeah. Scoliosis is a thing that you don't have to be as worried as much as you think. Okay. So what happens to the cells of your body when you take a shot? Listen to this stuff. So if you decide, well, we can stop sharing for just a sec. So if you decide to take a shot, right? Take the shot, change what you got going, right? Change your health in some way, change any of those pieces. If you decide to take a shot, who's coming with you, right? It could be just you. So how are you going to do this? How are we going to take a shot, right? Well, I have really good news. You're not alone in any kind of taking your shot situation. Ryan got into weightlifting when I wasn't around, right? I was off to college and doing all this other stuff, working, that kind of thing. It wasn't Jeremy that motivated him. It may have motivated his brain, but he had to take the shot anyway, right? But what came with him? The cells of his human body, right? All these cells can do these miraculous things like as you go, right? And like what we talked about, if each cell has memory to it and we start rewriting and giving it good memories to go on, you get a lot more out of that, right? So remember, you're not just taking the shot by yourself. The cells of your human body are begging you to take these shots.
Well, I got one little thing, weightlifting. One more thing for weightlifting.
Sure. Yeah.
For the shot. So like, you probably remember these negatives. So,
oh yeah.
So a great example would be doing negatives on your bench press, you say. So when you do these so-called negatives, what you're doing is doing like 25% basically above what, 10 to 25% above what you basically think your maximum 1 rep bench press would be. And you have a spotter there to hold the bar just in case to lift it off your chest once you do 2 or 3 of these. So basically what you have them do is you put it there, you have somebody help you unrack it, and then basically they'll spot you as you slowly go down. And then once you get down, you try to press it, but you can't press it because it's more than your weight. And then somebody assists it back up. So you do 2 or 3 reps of those. And what it does, it trains your muscle memory to know what that weight feels like on your body. So when you actually go to the maximum weight of that weight, maybe 2 or 3 months down the road, your mind and your muscles already remember that weight. So it makes it that much easier. That's why you train with those negatives.
Right. And negatives. So for those that don't know, think about being underneath the bar, the dumbbell or the bench you got the bench, you unrack it, right? So you're just holding it in the air. So you have a decent amount of weight on there, like enough to make
you're not supposed to be able to
trying to hold this sucker, huh?
Yeah.
So you're trying to hold it, but you're slowly coming down, like you're letting it come down, but it's a fine piece of china or something. So you're trying to go all the way down to your chest, and then if you're lucky, you can get it off, but that's why you got to help her, and then they bring it up, right? So most of the time you are not going to be able to, hit that chest and then fire it back up, but sometimes you can, right? But the ability of your body to do that, you're saying to your body, in the innate intelligence of your body, saying, hey, I don't want to just push this weight away from me. I want to control this weight. I want to control it. So what is your memory of your cells going to do? Your muscle cells are like, well, if we're stuck having to do this, we're going to start building stronger so that I can control that weight. That's basically what, negatives do. And it is crazy good workout. Crazy good, especially if you have a partner or something, or a machine. Sometimes a machine you can do them on really well.
You go down to a certain level on a Smith machine and make sure you just hook it and then get up underneath it.
Yep. And it's such a cool mindset that way. But all right. So so remember that you have all these cells. So hopefully this makes sense. It makes sense to me, guys. So it must make sense to everybody. That's right. All right. So what happens to this when you take a shot? These are the different types of the cells that are coming along with you. When you take a shot, look at what you get to change. Okay. Skin cells, they regenerate every 10 to 30 days. Isn't that crazy? They will typically regenerate every 10 to 30 days. So if you give it a shot in 10 to 30 days, you might have a different result in, let's say, skin. Livers, they regenerate within weeks after damage, right? So if some kind of damage happens to your liver cells, it takes some weeks to change those cells. But let's say you start eating properly, you start taking care of your liver better. Can you reverse a lot of the damage? Very big possibility. Blood cells, especially blood cells, have a lifespan of 120 days, right? And then they get produced in the bone marrow. So a lot of times, with that, you got 120 days, your blood cells will be different. So think about all the materials and the things of your body that you're moving in that 120 days, that can do very well. Neurons are an interesting one. In the central nervous system, generally have very limited regeneration capability. There are some areas like the hippocampus where neurogenesis, which is new cell growth, occurs throughout a lifetime. So they haven't found, what they found is a lot of the neurons on the outside of your body. They call them the peripheral nervous system. So nerves of your arms, nerves of your legs, they all have what they call neurogenesis. The big concern is the spine and the nerve or the brain has a harder time with cell regeneration, but they're finding over time and with a little help, sometimes you can get those back, right? Sometimes you can get them back. It's just a lot harder process. Intestinal epithelial cells, your gut, remember, so that's what that is. They change their cells every 3 to 5 days because of the high wear and tear of the gut and how that works. And then, of course, younger individuals, all these numbers are much quicker. So that is a really good thing. So as you're younger, you can rapidly change quickly. I've seen it in young athletes my whole life, watching the chiropractic thing go from a little kid that was maybe like a little pudgier or those kind of things. They start actually taking a shot and getting into that weightlifting, getting into something like that. You can watch them gain muscle mass, strength, speed, all those things in a much shorter time frame than people realize. All right. So this is what I was saying. Each cell in your body will take the journey, will take that shot with you. So you're never alone. You always have the intelligence of your body as well, which is, remember, in all of our stuff, the intelligence, there's a inborn intelligence that is within every living cell that we have, and we call it innate intelligence. That intelligence will start to adapt you to the new things that you're trying to take a shot, to do. All right, so these are ones that I wanted to go through, and then me and you can just talk for a minute. The constant story. You hear all the okay. So here's some different stories of ones that you see in real time about people taking shots and then proving to themselves that it can be done, but we kind of take them for granted. So the person getting a surgery for weight loss, okay, I see this all the time. They're going to go get the surgery for weight loss, and they have to go through this procedure where they have to change their diet, do a lot of things prior to that surgery, and they end up losing 30 to 40 pounds before the surgery actually takes place. And sometimes they even hit their goal weight, which is amazing. Now, they took a shot and they had a backstop, right? So they had this backstop of the surgery. So a lot of times that it was a bigger drive. Sometimes that goal has to be bigger for a lot of us. Once the goal becomes bigger, a lot of times you're going to see a lot of these changes. So just remember that. This happens quite a lot. The man's heart that is better in health after he's been diagnosed having a heart issue. So somebody has a heart attack, and then, a couple of years go by, he's starting to work because of that heart attack scared him enough. That was his new goal, is to have a really good functioning heart. So he goes out, he starts eating properly, eating things for his heart, working out like he should. All of a sudden, when he gets his numbers back after that, he's got better blood than he did when he was in his 20s. Here's a good one for Ryan. Like we always talk about it. The bodybuilder that changes their mindset, and then let's say they go into marathon running. Your body can do it. They took a shot. You got a lot of work to do to take the shot, but that could happen. Or the marathon runner that converts to the bodybuilder. Either way, it's going to be that way. The non-athlete becoming an athlete. See that one constantly. And it's just about the drive. And then the most common that I see that I absolutely love is the person who reversed their diabetes diagnosis after they are told they will have to go on a lifetime of medications. What do they all have in common other than people taking a shot? They have a drive. They have a bigger why than what's out there. All right. So creating a new focus. Our lives are that's the other thing. So let's stop right here. So we have this bigger why that we now know we have, right? Everything has the same. Somebody has a heart thing, they start working on their heart, right? Somebody has a weight thing, they start working on their weight. One of the things is if we can get that focus, we can get that drive to be higher prior to the issue coming.
This is great, Jeremy, because this is like one of Coach Disk. He's the other coach with me on Reagan's basketball team, but it's like there's three things: effort, enthusiasm, and I can't remember the other one, but the effort. The effort to go to a game, the effort to go through life. Mm-hmm. Think of it that way. Like, how much effort are you actually putting into your life, into your lifestyle?
Exactly. Right. And that's the hard part is like there is a lot of times we set these desires as like, I kind of want to, right? And that's what you have to decide, right? And if it's a kind of want to, you're not going to really do much, right? But if it's a want to, if it's a
have to,
if it's a hat, so we in our society right now, we wait till we have to, right? But there is this moment between kind of want to and have to.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Moment that's the money right there.
If you make it a have to early in life, that's the key. Is like having parents teach their kids that physical activity and exercise is a have to. Not just eating right and everything else, that we have to go exercise 3 days a week or do some kind of physical activity if we're not into sports or whatever. That we go do something, that we have to do this. And if you don't have that inset in your life early, like you said, you're going to wait till your heart fails. Then you have to do something.
Right. And the have to is really true, because the have to is, as a holistic person, everybody has to. They absolutely have to, because that's how you become a holistic person that could actually do some of these things that we're asking you to do and be successful at them. Right. So like, you want to take a bunch of herbs, you better be eating right. You can't be eating Twinkies and then trying to take ashwagandha, that ain't going to work, ladies and gentlemen. That's just not a thing, right? You have to live that way. And then once it becomes a have to, one of the things that's neat about that, when it becomes a have to for you, is that you feel so much better, and you can see that power in that piece. And that's where understanding what the next slide, I'll get this last slide in and then we'll talk. This one in the power of focus. So you have to have these, this shot you want to take, and that shot has to be focused. You wouldn't look, you would look at the basket when you're shooting, right? We need to keep our eye on the ball when we want to do these type of changes. So our lives are full of so many things. And here's the problem. Okay. So this is the major issue. I'll read these, but we have so many things literally trying to steal our attention. We call it lack of focus, but it's really all these things are trying and vying for your attention. And one of those day-to-day distractions are the key to understanding how to blow through those and keep the focus on what you need to. And that is a huge piece that we have to start looking at. There's so many distractions in day-to-day lives, from kid stuff to work to all these things. They're all important. Like, they're all considered distractions. And then you start adding the social medias and the fear porn newses and all this other crap that you could throw in there. And that allows us to lose a focus to what our main goal is, no matter what it is. All right. Okay. So what are we going to do for our 1% tribe tonight? Figure out where the shot's going to be and focus on it. Are we going to try to lose weight? Are we going to try to get stronger? Are we trying to gain more energy? Is it just feeling good? It's a little general. Don't love that one. Is it getting a better understanding of health? Like understanding what you have, being better in cardiovascular. Take your shot and stay focused when you do it. So that is the end of my slides. Hopefully you guys like that. But Ryan, add some stuff. I talked a lot.
Well, it's like what Reagan in her basketball game this last weekend. We had a talk before one of the games, and it was like, these girls have a hard time shooting the ball, or just
we talked about that.
Or doing what they know what to do. Like just dribbling towards the basket and trying to shoot, or just putting the ball down and dribbling with your left hand. It's taking that shot and having the confidence to because you've been practicing it forever, right? They've been practicing that practice, and that comes to game time, it's like they won't do it. So, one of the pep talks was girls have the confidence and do what you can do. You can shoot it. You can pass it. You can dribble it. So do it in a game. Just have the confidence when you have the ball to know what to do. Because you know what to do. You've been practicing it forever. So like with life or with working out or any of these other shots, you're not just going to wake up and say, oh, I'm going to be a marathon runner, one day and all of a sudden run 10 miles. No, you're going to say, oh, that sounds kind of cool. Then you're going to start looking into reading about it, and you start running a little bit, and you're not going to go right away into it, but you started the shot, you started to learn about it. Then you get to that point where you're ready for it. Then you're like, all right, I'm going to take that shot. I'm going to be, I'm going to train for that marathon. I know my body is ready. Same with, the girls basketball. You can make the shot. You can do it. Just do it.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing.
And Reagan did it twice. And I said, just do it. Run this play, go around, do a handoff, do a dribble, layup. She did it 2 times in a row, and it was the proudest moment of my life. I thought
exactly
very cool.
Well, it's neat to see.
She's like, I can't make it. And every other game prior to that, she's grabbing the ball and going, I don't want it. Give it to somebody else. They shoot it. This is the first time she grabbed it. She knew what to do. Positive attitude, made the shot.
Yep.
Brady.
And it's simple things like that though, because you gave her a focus. You said, do this, hand it off to this person, go in there, right? And so once it happens and it starts going into the flow, one of my favorite, my this is a good, cute little basketball thing. It doesn't change much like as they get older either. Like we were talking. My youngest Lexi is on the JV team, and she still has the panic. If I would have known what I know now, even just over time, I would have just made her do 4,000 basketball shots, just getting comfortable with every little, just with the ball, because she's great at all these other pieces, but we're losing focus on all the kids have a hard time with the ball no matter what, right? So she's gotten in this habit of when she hits a certain spot on the court, she's launching that thing, and she makes it a great deal of the time, like a 3-point shot. She'll just go up. One time, she even was panicked about this player coming in, and her head was turned, and she shot it, and it went in. Right? She wasn't even looking at the basket. Now, not recommended, obviously, but it was like it was going. She got in such the focus, right, that the whole muscle memories, the cells came with her, right? The muscle cells of her human body went with her, and it was going to do that. That's one reason why when you say, oh, I'm not feeling like lifting, right? And then you go out and lift, well, maybe that one workout, let's say my bench press wasn't the greatest because my mind wasn't on it, but I still went through with it. Because
I had a couple weeks of this with this, the basketball and barrels and everything. I've had.
So once you go in and you just allow your body to do the memory of it, are you going to succeed? Are you going to gain that week? You probably gain something, but you're not going to gain to levels that you wanted to just based on that part. Like that. But who cares? You still did it, and that's the difference in all of this stuff. So. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I think we did good.
Yeah.
I think that'll be good. We both need to pass out probably though, but very well. Thank you, Ryan, for showing.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just if anybody ever needs help taking a shot with the gym or anything, don't ever, feel free to reach out to me. I've always been a big believer in helping people with their workouts and everything in the gym, and
absolutely,
I still do. And
we'll have him on again, which y'all know. If we get enough, if people comment and say that would be it'd be a whole cool thing. We could do a Q&A on working out.
Okay, cool.
Best strategies for out or what kind of body style. That'd be a pretty fun one, actually. Yeah. So cool. All right, you guys. Well, that is all I got for tonight. Yes. You guys have a good night. Take it easy.